mind. This diesel engine hums its song. It's where I feel I most belong. The radio crackles, the coffee's black. Ain't no turning from this track. Just me, the moon, and the dash white line, and a little bit of peace I call mine. I got 18 years in a diesel dream. Ain't as lonely as it may seem, 'cause I got my dog, my faithful friend, riding with me till the very end. This big ring's my castle, this highway's my home, it's my steel horse and a heart that won't She sits up in that passenger seat, watches the world with paws so neat. He don't care about the miles we roam, as long as he knows we're heading home. We've seen the Gulf and the Carolina snow, learn which truck stop, let the big rigs go. He's the one constant through rain or shine, that little piece of heaven that is mine. I got 18 gears and a diesel dream. Ain't as lonely as it may seem, 'cause I got my dog, my faithful friend, riding with me till the very end. This is big rig my castle, this highway's my home, and my steel horse and a heart that won't roam. Some folks need a house on a solid piece of land. I just need my rig and one good steady hand on the wheel and a wet nose by my side. That's the only kind of anchor I ever need to ride. Some sound somewhere outside of Mobile town. I pulled her over on a muddy shoulder. The night gets older, the wind gets colder. Sadie whimpers in a sleeping nest, putting my own fear to the test. But I sing, hush now, baby, don't you cry. Mama's got this under Alabama sky. I hum a tune low and slow for my dog, my rig, Sadie girl in the driving rain. Cuss and a prayer, I'm fighting bolts in the midnight air. The lightning flashes, I see her eyes, watching my every move so wise. Then the jacket slips, the mud gives way. My hope is starting to fade to gray, but a quiet lick upon my hand is the only help I need to make a stand. So I sing, hush now, baby, don't you cry. Mama's got this under Alabama sky. I hum a tune low and slow for my dog, my rig, and the debt I owe. It's just a lullaby for the broken lane. Me, my Sadie girl, in the driving rain. They say this life's no place for a softer soul, but she's the one who makes me whole. This truck might be my steel disguise, but she's the truth there in my eyes. The sun is winking off the chrome. Another day, another road to roam. Got a full load headed for New Orleans, and the prettiest sight these eyes have seen. Sadie's perched upon the passenger seat, tongue all out to catch the breeze so sweet. She's the best co-pilot I could ever need, sharing every sunflower, every soybean field. It's just 10 wheels and a wagging tail down this long and lucky rail, with the queens of the interstate on me and my best friend riding great. Just 10 wheels and a happy sound, my little dog will homeward bound. We hit the Louisiana state line. The air smells sweet like muscadine. Sadie barks at a big white egret, a silly little game she can't forget. The CB crackles with a friendly voice. Hey, Ruby Road, you got a choice. There's a truck stop up It's just 10 wheels and a wagging tail down this long and lucky rail. We're the queens of the interstate. Me and my best friend riding great. Just 10 wheels and a happy sound. With my little dog, we're homeward bound. Some folks search their whole life through for a single thing that feels this true. I found it in a diesel hum and a little heart that makes me come home. Was lost in barbecue. My stomach gave a roar. Pulled old Bessie off the road. Couldn't take no more. The smell of hickory smoke was calling out my name. Me and Sadie needed fuel. This was more than just a game. Looking so forlorn, but I saw that look she gets, that mischievous little gleam, while I was lost in barbecue and homemade buttercream. Well, the screen door slammed, a man began to shout. Sadie hit the jackpot and she started running out with a string of sausages a swinging in her jaw, leaving chaos and confusion for that fella to draw. Yeah, we got ourselves ejected from that Tennessee barbecue, all on account of what my hungry dog would do. Between the tables, she zagged around a chair, knocked over ketchup bottles, and French fries in the air. The cook was waving his big tongues, his face was beatbox red, while my little four-legged bandit by the dumpster was being fed. I tossed some cash down on the table, headed for the light, trying hard to keep my laughing hidden from the side. They said Sadie looking proud, licking at her chops with a trail of greasy evidence and a couple of pork chops. Well, the screen door slammed, the man began to shout. Sadie hit the jackpot and she started running out with a string of sausages a swinging in her jaw, leaving chaos and confusion for that fella to draw. Yeah, we got ourselves ejected from that Tennessee barbecue, all on account of what my hungry dog would do. They can't keep their fancy manners, and there no dogs allowed signs. My partner in crime just rewrites the bottom lines. We might not be well gonna drop. We crossed the Arizona line, the desert dry and brown, traded mesquite for the scent of salt as we came into town. Unhooked the trailer, job all done with a few hours left of light. I looked at Sadie, said, girl, we've earned a special kind of night. She didn't understand the roaring sound, the endless blue, this new and shifting land. She sniffed the air, her ears perked up, then took a tentative step on a world that stretched out forever, a secret the ocean had kept. And when her paws touched the water, a spark lit in her eyes, chasing the foamy, fading waves under the endless skies. She barked at seagulls, danced with the tide, so wild and so free. The first time that my Sadie girl ever saw the sea. We sat there in the wet sand as the sun began to fall. The greatest freight yard paycheck I could ever recall. The water soaked her furry legs, she didn't mind a bit. She tried to bite the ocean, but it wouldn't submit. She'd run from the incoming waves, then chase them as they'd flee. The happiest little co-pilot there ever thought to be. The sky turned gold and orange, then a deep and bloody red. I rolled my jeans up, waded in with a thought inside my head of all the miles and truck stops, all the burdens I big point on a California shore. And when her paws touched the water, sparkling in her eyes, chasing the foamy, fading waves under the endless sky. She barked at seagulls, danced with the tide, so wild and so free. The first time that my Sadie girl ever saw the sea. We sat there in the wet sand as the sun began to fall. The greatest freight yard paycheck I could ever recall. Some chase their riches in the city's cold hard light, but my treasures watch and wonder in the soft approaching night. A little dog discovering a dream she never knew, and in that salty joyful moment all my dreams came true too. The windshield wipers keep the time on this lonesome two-lane road. Dirty bluesmen on the radio singing about a heavy load. My mind's a tangled mess of wire, every mile and every doubt, replaying all the things I've done and the things I've lived without. And I look across the cab, right there in the passenger seat. Sadie's got her head out the window, catching the wind and the heat. Her ears are flapping like tiny flags, her tongue is lolling free, lost in a perfect simple joy that's always out of reach for me. And I wonder why her world is so easy and mine's so damn hard. She finds her heaven in a sunbeam, resting in my backyard, or in the whistle of the wind, or a simple one-note song, while I'm out here chasing answers where I know they don't belong. She don't need no destination, she's already home. Just a window and the wind, and she'll never be alone. She don't worry about the mortgage or the price of diesel fuel. She ain't haunted by old ghosts or playing the love lone fool. Her only worry is a squall that dares to cross a path. Her only sin is begging for a little extra from my plate. And when we stop to rest a while beneath a canopy of pine, she'll find a stick and bring it to me, thinking everything is fine. And in her bright, expectant eyes, the world is put to right, chasing that one simple stick with all her might. And I wonder why her world is so easy and mine's so damn hard. secret ain't in finding, but in letting everything go, and tasting life like it's the wind, and just feeling the blow. She ain't the one who's simple, no, the truth is plain to see. It's my own heart that complicates the things that should be free.
The sky turned gray, then white, then black outside of Billingstown. A shudder and a dying groan, then my big rig settled down. The heater gave its final sigh, the needle hit the red. Just me, my dog, in frozen fear, and 100 miles ahead. A scratchy woolen nest pulled Sadie close against my chest and put my mind to test. I lit a lantern, cracked a book, some words to fight the dread. With every page I turned for her, the demons in my head. In the first rays of the morning sun, they found us wrapped up tight. My little dog, my engine cold, surviving Montana's night. Huddled in that frozen cab, a single breathing light. The first rays of the morning sun, chasing away the fright. They painted all the frosting gold, a warm and welcome sight, and proved we made it through the dark. My Sadie girl and I. Your luck's not stuck. He drove us to a diner's glow where coffee steam looked grand, and Sadie got some bacon from a warm and friendly hand. Old Joe the mechanic, he just nodded, understood the plea. Said ain't no one left behind out here, especially family. He hooked my rig, he fixed the part, refused to take the pay. Said just get your girl back on the road and have a better day. And the first rays of the morning sun, they found us wrapped up tight. My little dog, my engine cold, surviving my Honda's night. Huddled in that frozen cab, a single breathing light. The first rays of the morning sun, chasing away the fright. They painted all the frosting gold, a warm and welcome sight, and proved we made it through the dark. My Sadie girl and I. That night I learned that home ain't walls or a roof above your head. It's the warmth you make to fight the cold, the trust that lies unspoken. It's a heartbeat against the silence, a promise softly said, that no matter how the engine fails, your love won't leave you broken.
A blowout on a desert road, a curse upon the air. The sun was sinking low and red, and I was in despair. Then a dust cloud rose and no truck slowed. A man with quiet hands said, "Ma'am, that looks a heavy job," and then he seemed to understand. He worked the jack, he spun the lugs, his muscles taut and lean. I tried to look away from him, the man at the devil's scene, but my eyes kept drifting back to where his shadow touched the sand. And a feeling I'd forgotten started stirring in the land. And he said, "It's getting dark now, and you're miles from any town. I got a pot of green chow stew that's just now settling down." And the stars came out over New Mexico, and the moon began to climb. And for the first time in forever, I was willing to lose track of time. He didn't just fix a flat tire somewhere on Highway 10. He offered me a taste of a life I might begin. The stew was fire and comfort, a taste of this red earth. We talked to cattle, diesel cars, and what a life is worth. The kerosene lamp threw shadows as the conversation slowed, and the space between our chairs at that table gently glowed. The morning found me in his arms, a window showing gold, a story in the nighttime that was tenderly untold. I stepped outside and saw my girl, my Sadie, running free, chasing ranch dogs through the sage in a joyful wild spree. And he said, "You're welcome here for breakfast, you're welcome for a week. There's no hurry on this ranch, it's the quiet that you seek." And the sun rose high over New Mexico,
For the first time in forever, I wanted to stay in one piece of land. He didn't just fix a flat tire somewhere on Highway 10. He offered me a taste of a life I might begin. My whole life's been a dotted line, a map of getting gone. But watching Sadie in that field, I felt my resistance strong. It ain't just him, it's all of it. The sky, the peace, the price, the dangerous and lovely thought of taking his advice and staying.